away, everybody. It's time for another episode of Under the Bridge.
The bridge is now under. I don't know where I was going with that, I'll be
honest. Wow, yeah, me neither.
This is a good start point, now ad-lib from here, except I am usually very bad at ad-libbing. Much like how I'm very bad at shutting up.
You just threw a whole chunk of kryptonite right at my start.
And it just, oh no, I don't want to make that reference because it does actually spoil the movie a little bit.
Anyways, I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll, pronouns he, him.
And I am Greg, aka Greg, also pronouns he, him.
And this is our podcast where we talk news of the pop culture variety. Sometimes comic news, sometimes gaming news, pretty much always movie news, and also pretty much always a movie review. We're here to fight for truth, justice, and the cinematic way.
And boy, is there some truth and a little bit of justice.
So make sure to ring the like button, smash that bell, and share the video around if you're into that sort of thing, because it really helps us out, and we appreciate it. Although this week, I have to say, I have pretty much none of the things that I said this podcast has. We have a movie review, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's been a slow week, all things considered. I don't think I even have any gaming news that's worth talking about, really.
I mean, I guess I could talk about Chris Pratt's back for another animated Garfield movie, but do you care? Do any of you care?
Not really.
Yeah, I certainly don't. Anyways, I do have a little tiny baby bit of TV show news, and...
oh boy.
That is that apparently Royce Johnson is going to be back for Daredevil Born Again Season 2, playing Brett Mahoney, who was absent from the first season.
Okay.
If you'll recall, he was one of the only good cops in the original Daredevil, in as much as you can have those.
Oh, right! Mahoney! Oh! Oh, damn! Okay, good. No, he was honestly probably one of the best characters on the Netflix show.
Please stop giving my mom cigars, Foggy.
The Punisher? He's dead. Does this look like the work of a dead man to you? No, he was great.
Yeah, and you kind of felt him not being there in season 1, I will say. But to be fair, a lot of that was because the original show direction was, this is not Daredevil season 4, we're doing a different thing, forget about Daredevil seasons 1 through 3, and then everybody said no, and then Marvel said, you know what, fair.
Alright.
We're Daredevil season 4 now. A little bit, kind of. I've already done the review. Did I do a review?
I think you did a pseudo review.
Huh. Did I leave that in? I might have cut it.
I mean, I remember us talking about it, and I'm pretty confident you did a partial review, because even though I am very bad at watching actual television, I did mention at some point that I did want the both of us to watch it, so you didn't go deep in spoilers.
Oh, yeah. We need to do that at some point.
Yeah, 100%.
So no, this is a welcome return. I'm curious just how much stuff is going to be going on in season 2 with all the people who we know are there for it, but hey, I guess we'll see.
Right.
Let's go to trailer time!
And let's do trailer time!
It's trailer time again! We have one trailer, and it's not even officially released as far as I know.
No, I don't think it's been, put on the interwebs or anything.
No, but in front of Superman, and originally attached, not as a preview, but as the literal last thing before the movie in front of Jurassic World Rebirth. God, I hate Christopher Nolan!
Which made you even angrier at Jurassic Rebirth by proxy.
It did! It really did!
I
don't know, Christopher Nolan, he's made some really good movies, and some movies that I like, but he's also had some absolute duds, and he certainly carries himself as a person I wouldn't want to have a conversation with for any extended period of time, although I have a podcast, so who am I to throw stones?
What you trying to say, Cody? Oh my god.
I'm trying to say it takes a certain degree of insufferability to be specifically a podcaster in this particular venue, you know?
Does that make me insufferable?
Anyways.
Notice he did not confirm or deny either way, ladies and gentlemen.
we got a trailer for the Odyssey, and okay, decently interesting.
This cast list is actually fucking ridiculous, because, of course, we have Matt Damon as Odysseus and Tom Holland as Telemachus. We see a lot of them in this movie, and we also see a little bit of John Barenthal. But apparently in this movie includes, but not limited to, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, John Leguizamo, Bill Irwin, Mia Goth.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah.
Do you think John Leguizamo is gonna haul off and tell people to go F themselves?
I could see... I really don't remember a lot of the Odyssey because it's only been intermittent in my life that I've ever had to spend any time reading it. But isn't there usually someone who... There's usually at least one character who is a proverbial hype man in the story?
I'll level with you, I've never read the Odyssey.
Okay, I could swear that there is a character like that, and I could see John Leguizamo playing that character. What do you mean this has a budget of $250 million?
Oh boy, a lot of that probably went to the cast.
Yeah, I mean, this cast is large and stacked, so that makes sense.
Indeed it do.
Yeah, this is an ensemble of an ensemble cast.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit more to really get hyped, but I mean, Greek epics, that's got a lot of potential. I think we're in for something. As long as I can understand the audio, which, so far, outlook is good.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
It's also funny, though, John Bernthal is obviously a really good actor, but his cadence is so unique that while he was doing the rant about Odysseus, I was half expecting him to throw a yeah in there, you know?
It really is a shame, honestly, because I love seeing John Bernthal do things.
It's Bernthal. There's only one E in it. I'm sorry, I can't do another Pharrell Williams. I can't do it.
You can't do another Pharaoh.
I can't.
Wait till the best of episode, everybody.
It's coming eventually, probably in 2026.
Yeah. Or it'll get rehomed too. No, it's really a shame because it's a thing of... So I enjoy seeing John Bernthal, I almost did it again, in a bunch of different things, and I've seen interviews that he's done and listened to podcasts, and he is clearly someone who he just genuinely loves acting and wants to act as much as he can. Unfortunately for me, my first and main exposure to him is as the Punisher, and because of that, it's one of those things where anytime I hear him, even in roles where it's very clear he's not the Punisher, when he gets really into it and really excited about whatever he's doing, that part of him kind of comes out. A big one for me was him playing Lee Iacocca in Ford vs. Ferrari, and I'm just like, you're so good. You're so fucking good in this and all the stuff you do. But man, it's not as bad, but it's in my brain, it's a little bit of the Julia White syndrome. And I hate that, honestly, because it's the thing of, I don't think it takes away from any of the stuff I see him do, but it's one of those annoying things that just plays in the back of your head. It's like, no, shut up. Shut the fuck up. That's not what we're here for today.
Yeah. There's a few different actors where that happens for me, so I know what you're talking about.
We also get to see Tom Holland looking perpetually 12, as is tradition.
Honestly, unlike John Bernthal, here, he does enough to his voice that it took me a second to realize it was him. I don't think I realized it was him until I saw his face.
I mean, he's speaking in a little bit of an English accent in this, right? If I remember correctly.
I don't think it's English, but it's definitely not his usual cadence, and it's definitely also not Spider-Man, you know?
It might be something a little bit closer to his natural accent.
Maybe. Shall we go to the box office?
Yes.
As you can see, it's been a slow week.
It's a slow news week.
Yeah, at least in terms of things that are within our general scope that we're interested in talking about. See, again, the Garfield news.
Right.
But we did see the highest grossing movie this weekend because it was none other than Superman.
Good.
Yeah. $125 million domestic weekend and total. $220 million worldwide against a $225 million budget reported, with roughly $100 million for marketing. So this has a bit of a ways to go to see actual profitability and further to go to be a success. But I mean, with an opening weekend like this and positive word of mouth, which it's got,
oh yeah,
I think and also hope that this will do well. Because I'll rip the Band-Aid right off. This is going in the what Martin Scorsese would call cinema tier.
So a part of me couldn't help but think about this when you told me that outside of the podcast, is that if there's a part of my brain that went, Could you imagine if you time traveled, I don't know, like 10 years ago, because I think we were still in college at that point, and told your 10-year younger self, hey, in 2025, your favorite movie of the year so far is going to be a DC movie over that year's Marvel movie?
Actually, that's not correct, because my favorite movie of the year so far is still Sinners. But Superman is one of the closest contenders we've gotten. It is one of the only movies that has come within swinging distance of Sinners.
Well, I mean, within the context of specifically superhero, because I know you've always been deep into superhero films and media, but you were definitely a lot deeper into it back then.
Yeah, and I mean, in 2015 in particular, the idea that my favorite would have been a DC movie would have been unthinkable, because, I mean... I mean, looks at Man of Steel.
Man, what a split from this. I mean, of course, these are two completely separate movies, not even done by the same group of people making them, but the tone and vibes of those two movies could not be more dissimilar.
And I don't mean to say that in the sense of I like this movie specifically because it is in many ways an antithesis of that, because it's not. There are some things that this took that the Snyder movies did correctly. Action spectacle was one of them.
Yeah.
Because it must be said, in defense of the DCEU Superman, they really did do the big action scenes showcasing just how powerful Superman is, like none of the other movies had before. And Superman 2025, directed by James Gunn, does not shy away from that.
Yeah.
There's some pretty bombastic action in this, and you love to see it. But most importantly, and this is the real reason why it ends up in the cinema tier, it nails the character's spirit in a way that I don't think we see enough in Superman adaptations, because a lot of them are designed to be, oh, this isn't the Superman you know, because for a while there it was, oh, it's DCEU Superman, or it's Injustice Superman, or it's Superman Red Sun, or it's Gods and Monsters Superman. I mean, I guess technically so is this, because, haha, Chapter 1 is called Gods and Monsters, but they really nail down that this Superman is a not perfect, but fundamentally good human being, technically, who...
Well, I was gonna say that was gonna segue nicely into my thoughts, but continue.
Who is just trying to do the right thing, and it's just nice to see.
Yeah, so my thoughts on this Superman, actually with that, is the thing, and I said this before on different characters we've talked about, the kind of characters in both Marvel and DC that I usually gravitate towards are the ones that are more akin to regular people, individuals who, even if they're powered, act, behave, and go about their day-to-day and how their mantra as if they're like regular human people that just have interacted with the world as we have it. And Superman in this is definitely that. This Superman, I definitely feel, is the most human Superman we've had, at least as far as movies go, or at the very least embodies human nature as a concept the best. Because from my admittedly limited knowledge and exposure with Superman in general between shows, movies, and comics, you can definitely speak about this better than I, since I'm not as in tune with it. I've always had the feeling that Superman as a character, while still being for good and wanting to help people and save people's lives and whatnot, is usually a little bit more on the, I almost want to say on the aloof side a little bit. This one isn't. He's very much a product of the environment that he's grown up in. He is very much a product of not just his youth as a little kid with his family with the Kents, but also living in Metropolis, interacting with the walks of life of Metropolis and all that, which does give him a little bit of a chip on his shoulder too, which is also kind of fun to see. We get a moderately narcissistic Superman at one point, and I'm just like, that's, I'm not used to seeing that, honestly. That's pretty neat.
No, I think definitely this Superman, if he's not the most outright normal human, but still recognizably Superman, then he is definitely one of those. Because, yeah, he's definitely a Boy Scout, he's a little bit of a square, he is not what you might call punk rock, and he's still the most powerful metahuman on the planet.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
But he's also vulnerable. There are points where he's flawed, there are points where he is...
He can get under his bulletproof skin.
Yeah, 100%. He actually spends quite a bit of this movie getting beat up.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that he is Superman is never in doubt, and seeing those struggles just makes him work better.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's also helped by the fact that Rachel Brosnahan, I mean, to say nothing of, I didn't even credit David Cornsweet for the stellar job he does as Superman, but Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane provides a really good counter, because what they nailed down is that Lois is, at heart, a cynic. Not in the doesn't care sense, but in the finds it difficult to trust people, is always looking for the angle, is always willing to consider all sides of, is this actually the right thing to do, sort. And she provides a really good grounding and a much needed counterbalance to Clark that helps him come down off his high horse a little bit, but still enforces that he's ultimately a good guy.
Yeah, to kind of go with that too, it's really fun to see their interactions because, as you mentioned, Superman is definitely a Boy Scout to a literal fault. He has so much trust in the good in people and all that does get him in trouble at least once in the movie, and at one point arguably puts the safety of others in danger. Whereas Lois kind of is there, is just like, yeah, but man, that's not how people actually work. Not to be out there just being like, you're an idiot, but it's the thing, like, you need to understand that that's not how humans actually work. And so it creates this fun battle of good nature and what I personally believe what people want to have representing good, like an idealistic good is, versus another force that is very justifiably a more realistic force that, not out of malice, if anything out of genuine care, has to be the other side that goes, it's like, yeah, no, but that is literally incompatible with the world around us, at least to the degree that you want it. So seeing them philosophically square off is
and also
kind
they're
of
adorable. They're adorable.
They're so cute. Oh god, everyone in this movie, as far as characters and how they act, are weirdly lovable, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't want to sit here and call Lex Luthor lovable because he's not. He's actually
there are
a monumental
who are
piece of
underutilized,
shit.
But there's not a single bad performance in this movie.
Oh no,
this Jimmy is great.
This Jimmy rocks.
Apparently, Gunn and Safran are considering a TV spinoff for Jimmy Olsen, and I'd watch it.
I would honestly love to see a thing where it's either just squarely based on Jimmy or if it's Jimmy and Lois, because Jimmy and Lois's chemistry in this movie, even though there's only a few moments of them working together, their chemistry together is just great.
It is. But to bring it back to what you were saying, there's a trifecta of things that you need to get right in a Superman movie. One of them is Superman, one of them is Lois Lane, the other one is Lex Luthor. And let me tell you...
Boy, howdy now.
I'm a little cagey on saying that David Cornsweet is my favorite Superman, only because Christopher Reeve did such a good job, and there have been good animated Supermen, too. I feel like Rachel Brosnahan might be my favorite Lois Lane, but I don't know that 100%. I can pretty safely say Nicholas Hoult is my favorite Lex Luthor. He is the perfect embodiment of what Lex should be. He's the smartest man in the world, wasting all of his time and resources settling up with a petty grudge against somebody who has nothing against him out of just pure, spiteful envy. He's in full-on hater mode this whole movie, and the depths he is willing to sink in pursuit of bringing Superman down is both hideous and delightful.
Very much want to emphasize the hideous. Without giving too much away or anything like that, this man puts the people around him in very significant danger for no other reason just because of how much he hates Superman. It's one of those things where it's so insane it very much quickly runs into pathetic. And Nicholas Hoult... Because I've said on this show before, leading up to the reveal of this movie and all that, I had my doubts as far as Nicholas Hoult being Lex Luthor. Not because I doubted Nicholas Holt's ability to act. He's a phenomenal actor. I think there hasn't been really anything that either of us have seen him in that we haven't liked. But it is just a thing of seeing him in other stuff, mostly in vampire movies.
He was also Beast in the X-Men soft reboot movies.
I don't remember those.
Yeah, so those aren't great, but it's not really his fault, you know?
Yeah, but it is a thing of Nicholas Hoult is great, but Lex, really? I don't know about that. I was proven so wrong by this movie. This man honestly does kind of... I mean, everyone in this movie is great. Everyone competes so hard to steal every scene that they're in, and Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor just barely edges out the people that he's with, which I think is a testament to both Nicholas Hoult and the people around him who are also acting in this film.
It should be noted, Nicholas Hoult was also auditioning for Superman for this movie, and I don't remember...
I saw. That's really funny.
I don't remember where, but there's a social media post that says, casting someone who auditioned for Superman to play Lex Luthor might be the most Lex Luthor move in all history, and it's perfect. And they're right.
Yeah, it really is. They're right. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn... I mean, obviously someone there was just like, alright, you didn't make the cut as Superman, but you are too good for us to just let go.
You want to be Lex Luthor?
Yeah, it's like, you want to be Lex? I'll take that.
Sure.
I'll take second place. Oh god, who do you think is gonna win the battle of long-term notoriety in this movie? Like, ages after this movie leaves the current sphere of thought, do you think Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor will still be the main talking point, or do you think it'll be more so David Corenswet's Superman?
That's so hard to judge because a lot of it is probably gonna depend on what future projects get made and who's in what, because constant appearances does a lot to drive cultural conversation, but I feel like Lex might steal the show in conversation. I'm probably biased just because this is one of my favorite performances in the whole movie, full of really good performances, but
yeah.
Holy crap. Now, I will say, this is not a perfect film.
Mm-mm.
It is definitely full of things to the point of almost being overstuffed. I wouldn't quite call it that because I don't mean it in a negative way, but I mean it in a... This has very much Saturday morning cartoon vibes where you're not watching the first episode.
Yeah, I would honestly say, if anything, to kind of put it to a more finer point, the first, I don't know, like quarter to third of this movie does feel a little bit messy more than once during that bit. It's necessary because a lot of what happens in that first bit does actually set up everything else that happens in the movie, which pays off considerably with interest. It is 100% worth it to stick around for all of it, but the first bit does kind of jump all over the place to a degree, and that was kind of getting me at a certain point, because there's like, what is happening right now?
I feel like the first bit has to jump around a lot, because it has a lot of elements to set up, like the current conflict that is going on, why this is happening with Superman, his dynamics with the Daily Planet, particularly with Lois, the broad skeleton of Lex's scheme, his interactions with the Justice Gang, but yeah, it does definitely feel kind of disjointed at the start.
Sorry. Just laughing at the whole Justice Gang thing.
Yeah.
That is a stupid name.
It really is, but it's kind of growing on me, like a fungus.
I don't care if it's comics accurate. I don't know if it's comics accurate,
not.
But even if it is, still... Okay, good. As I say, that is a stupid fucking name.
They have a lot more in common with, I want to say Justice League International, but then again, I don't know that Hawkgirl or Mr. Terrific are ever members of that team. The main reason I say that is because of the presence of Guy Gardner and the fact that they're bankrolled by Maxwell Lord. So...
Who/what is Maxwell Lord?
That's a complicated question. So, back in the, I want to say, 80s...
Okay.
Max Lord was the benefactor of the Justice League International, and he was a, quote, well-meaning sort of guy, but he always had this...
Oh, that's not a good start. That is not a good start at all.
He's the type who genuinely wants to do good, but he's also self-serving and conniving. He's got a very used car salesman type vibe to him. You can trust Max with your life, but don't trust him with anything sensitive, you know? That kind of guy.
Okay, gotcha.
But then they retconned him into an anti-metahuman mastermind schemer. Oh, also he got psychic powers, I think, and then he became, I don't want to say a notable Wonder Woman villain, but he's basically a symbol of Wonder Woman taking her darker, more violent turn, because post-crisis she snapped his neck or something to stop the OMAC project, I think. I don't quite remember how it went. So he's complicated, but here they're definitely going back more towards his JLI vibes, which I like. I like the idea of, yeah, this guy's out to make a buck, and he's not the most ethical person in the world, but he does mean well.
Right.
Let's see. Crypto. Crypto is not the best boy in this movie.
Crypto's a fucking menace.
He's kind of a horrible little gremlin.
Crypto is such a menace in this movie.
We'll get more into it later, but yeah, this is not the obedient man's best friend, Crypto. This is a horribly trained dog, and it just gets funnier when you find out why.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because they did an overhaul of his relationship with Clark in this movie, and it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and it's frustrating because one of the best parts of their relationship is something that makes me go, how fucking dare you? I can't give it away because it's a spoiler. The emotional whiplash in this movie is insane.
This movie made me cry at least 3 different times, and then I almost passed out laughing once. Insanity.
Yeah.
I gotta say, this isn't intended as a dig at the actress, but actually, if there's one character that I don't like in this, it's probably Engineer.
I didn't have a particular attachment to Engineer, but I think that's down to a combination of not a lot about what makes them tick significantly, and also not really utilized a crazy amount, all things considered.
It's definitely I'm a little confused why they did Engineer, and I'm sure it's probably as a setup for the Authority, but here's the thing. I've read not all of the Authority original run, but I've read a good chunk of it, and it's not a particularly good Engineer adaptation in the sense of the Authority is a bunch of head up their ass, we know what's best for the world jackasses who, yeah, they're right in that the governments of the world are fucked and you can't really trust them to not fuck up the world, but they're not really ultimately much better. But Engineer was one of the least jackass ones, at least from what I read and from the impression that I got. She's certainly not Midnighter or Jack Hawksmoor, and this one is a lot more outright xenophobic, a lot more villainous, and I'm curious to see her being one of the least likable people in this movie, how they intend to utilize that for the Authority, assuming that movie still gets made, because as I understand it, it's currently on the back burner in terms of priority, which is a shame. I like the concept. I feel like you could have done a different character and saved Engineer for the Authority, because now she's got a bit of a ways to go with where you left the character.
Right.
There is one big change to the Superman mythos that I can't go into because it's a spoiler. I'm not a fan of it, but not for the reason you might think. I don't dislike it because it's a change, because it's actually not that big a change from certain incarnations. I don't like it because it otherwise flies in the face of what I feel like is a good chunk of the movie's message. The movie is... It's shocking to me. There were some people who were like, oh, this movie wasn't as political as I thought, and then there were some people crying, oh, this is woke. And it's just... What are you talking about? Okay, so... We haven't even gotten into the premise of this movie, and I feel like I need to fix that. The premise of this movie is they just drop you right in. They just spill it. 300 years ago, metahumans.
Yeah, that was kind of something I was thinking about leading is like, how are we going to do the premise without giving away a major chunk of the movie? There's a whole lot going on with the premise that wasn't shown in the trailers.
So, 300 years ago, metahumans showed up. It's now a new age of gods and monsters. 30 years ago, Clark Kent crashed on Earth. 3 years ago, he started being Superman. 3 months ago, he started dating Lois Lane. 3 weeks ago, he stopped an invasion of Palestine. I mean, Jarhanpur! Saving all the civilians of this clearly fictional nation with no real-life parallels whatsoever. None at all. Not one.
Zip doobity naba.
Zip doobity naba, huh? That's great.
Yeah.
And in doing so, he earns the ire of the United States government, some of the world's population, and also the Israeli Prime Minister. I mean, President of Moravia! No parallels to real-life individuals Whatsoever, none. Where did you get that idea? Absolutely none.
Yeah, it earns the ire of the President of the United States. Oh, wait, shit. Nope, hold up.
You know something really crazy? Dean Cain.
Mm.
Dean Cain, former Superman actor, and as I understand it, generally terrible person, was complaining about this movie going woke by, you shouldn't have outright said Superman is an immigrant. Now check this. Dean Cain, partly Japanese.
Oh, that's funny.
Which
and by funny, I mean slightly pathetic?
Right? Right? Complaining about woke. Are you kidding me? You got to be Superman.
Yeah.
You
For
got
real.
to be goddamn fucking Superman. What are you fucking talking about? Oh no, they should have said Superman's an immigrant. He clearly fucking is. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You showed me that thing about Fox News going, I didn't really want to be lectured to. Well, why the fuck are you watching a Superman movie then? Moralizing is kind of his whole fucking shtick.
Yeah, grandstanding for the goodness of humanity and human nature is literally what he does.
Jesus Christ.
That is a core tenet of his character.
People complain about anything.
Oh yeah, 100%. And we'll even fabricate shit in order to complain about anything.
Oh, that's good.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah, the whole movie is basically the fallout of that. Luthor leverages the world's mistrust of Superman to get an in with the Department of Defense, I think, and he's just scheming against Superman, and this is that. This is the result of that.
Right.
And it's a crazy fucking ride. There's all kinds of shit that I didn't think I was gonna see. One thing that I like about this approach is that, while, yeah, it is a little chaotic, and I'm sure that for people who don't know the DC Comics lore, of which I'm only partly familiar, it's easy to feel a little lost. However, how I see this is an interesting counterpart to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which started off very based in reality as we know it, and slowly opening the sandbox wider and wider, to the point where now it feels like they've kind of trapped themselves into they now need to explain every single new element that pops up. Whereas DC, having now started in this big sandbox with Superman, is free to go, oh, that's just a thing. Now it's not a question of, oh, how'd they get the powers? Who fucking cares? Metahuman, what's it matter?
Right.
We don't need to explain a Green Lantern ring, y'all know, right?
It's the Green Lantern ring. The details of it aren't really the most important thing. The most important thing is what he does with it.
What's Mr. Terrific's deal? Oh, he's super smart, whatever.
Mr. Terrific is also a great foil to Lex in this, too. I mean, Mr. Terrific is just great in general.
Easily one of the better characters in this. Also, apparently, they've been discussing a TV spinoff for him. I would watch that, too. Let me make that clear.
I feel like, and I say this as someone who has never watched the original Shaft, but I could see a thing where it's just metahuman Shaft with him.
Huh. Alright, yeah. I can dig it.
Yeah, that would be... You motherfucker.
Thank you. I'm amazed. We have not really spoiled anything yet.
No, that's pretty surprising, honestly. Because, again, that was my big concern. The way this movie is set up, it's really hard to talk about generalized big picture stuff without giving something decent away. So far, we have been able to navigate that minefield without blowing our legs off.
Yeah. No, I'm impressed.
Yeah. So do we want to just step on the landmine now?
I think we're about getting there. Yeah, all in all, this is a wild roller coaster ride of a movie, but it's full of heart, it's full of really great performances. Not every joke lands, but the ones that do are just magnificent.
This is an oddly funny movie.
I wouldn't say oddly, it's James Gunn, so...
Well, I mean, yeah, but even still, I know he did Guardians and all that, but it is one of those things where this movie does feel like it is funnier than it has any right to be.
And it just, the most important part is that it does not feel like a Justice Gang movie or a general DC movie. It is very much rooted in Superman and his supporting cast and his journey and his struggles. And I think that's really important. I'm very excited to see what comes next. I think next year on deck is Supergirl and Clayface. Gunn has said that apparently the aim is for each DC movie to have a completely different tone, which on the one hand, I'm very curious to see how that's going to make any potential crossovers work, but on the other hand, I definitely welcome it. Bring it on. Make it as weird and crazy as you want.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So, should you go see this? Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I've seen it twice already.
100%. I do wonder if this is one of those movies that would be improved if you saw it in IMAX.
Maybe I'll do that this weekend, because I mean, oh god, what's out this weekend? I think it's like Smurfs, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, so... Huh.
God, who is the woman that's playing Smurfette?
Rihanna.
That they keep on... Oh, you're not going to prioritize Rihanna as Smurfette, the movie?
No, absolutely not.
It is crazy how much they use that in every single part of the marketing for this film.
I know, right? Oh, also Eddington. Damn.
Oh, damn. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to have to fit in Eddington in there at some point. Because I definitely want to see that, even though I'm pretty sure it's going to make me depressed at the very end of it.
Probably. But no, this is definitely worth seeing. I strongly recommend it. Hell.
Please go see this.
You want an example of how much I like this movie? I didn't take any notes either time that I saw it. I was just watching the fucking movie.
And let me tell you, obviously I don't use his thoughts to confirm or deny how I feel about any movie, but it was genuinely terrifying. Because this man is just sitting next to me, just watching the movie. And usually
that's a bad sign.
Usually I can kind of get an idea of how you feel, because you'll usually make facial cues or something like that. It's like, no, he's just sitting in this seat, being quiet. We did share a couple jokes as per usual, but he's just sitting in his seat, being quiet, watching the fucking movie, not having his pen out or anything. I'm just like, I don't know what's happening right now. I can't tell if he's having a good time or if he fucking hates this.
No, I love this.
Yeah. Yeah, take it from me. A movie so good that it got Cody to just lock into the film. Yeah, it's that good.
So if you don't want to get spoiled on Superman, make sure to click away in 3, 2, 1. I have no idea where to even start.
I mean, my first thought goes to the first bit that got both of us emotional in all the craziness and everything that happened there, where we find out that Lex has kidnapped Krypto, and this follows Clark and Lois basically breaking up earlier in the movie.
I would say breaking up, but certainly going through a rough patch and not actually knowing where to take things from there.
It's a low point for both these characters, because Lois has kind of figured out how she wants the relationship with Clark to work out, and she's not having a great time with that. Of course, with Superman, Krypto got kidnapped, but right before that, Lex Luthor was able to hack into the Fortress of Solitude, find the message that his parents left him, and through having the engineer brute force the computer and extracting the rest of the clip, we're able to find out. This is the only part of the movie that does genuinely bother me. It's kind of a small thing in the grand scheme of things, but this is something small that does bother me a little bit. They find out in the rest of the message that Superman's parents basically told him to go to Earth, live amongst its people and serve them, but also to keep in mind that humans as a whole are extremely weak creatures that are easy to manipulate, and to eventually get to a point where you basically rule as a god over them with your own harem. Which, first and foremost, I know harem is not limited to anime and manga, but as someone who reads a lot of manga and watches a little bit of anime, hearing harem constantly in a Superman movie felt really fucking weird.
Yeah, for a little bit of reframing, what happened was, for his entire life, Superman had half of the message from his parents, which was the part of saying how much they love him, that the world's about to end, but they've sent him there to revitalize their hope and live out Krypton's truth, which he took to mean being a good person and helping out humanity however he can. Then the second part of the message flips it on its head and goes, we want you to live out Krypton's truth. That being, we want you to revitalize Kryptonian society on this planet full of weak, simple people, crush anybody who gets in your way, take as many wives as you want, make Kryptonian genetics spread far and wide again. And that's the one big problem I have with this movie, probably the biggest issue, and it's not because I have a problem with making the L's villainous, because that does have some precedent in certain adaptations, and also, if you're gonna fuck up one set of Superman's parents, it's better to fuck up the L's than the Kents. looks at Man of Steel.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I will never fucking forgive. I have been trying really hard not to make this about Man of Steel, but I will never forgive. What was I supposed to do? Let him drown? Maybe. No, fuck you.
No,
the answer to should I have let that bus full of kids drown is always no. When Superman flips out on the interview and said, people were going to die, with the implication of what else did you want from me? Yeah, no, he's right. And I thoroughly enjoy that the movie doubles down on it is not wrong to save people's lives.
Yeah, that's kind of what plays a little bit into the whole thing of Superman's Boy Scout attitude versus the world he lives in, because no, it is never a bad thing to save people's lives, but unfortunately, that does conflict with actual geopolitics, because at this point in the movie, it's established that Superman, even though, from what I gather, he's not considered an American citizen, boy howdy now, he is a representative of the United States on the grand scheme of things. So by having him go into not Palestine to stop this invasion by not Israel, I'm using these terms because I legitimately forgot the names of these fictitious countries.
It's Jarhan, Poland, Arabia, but no, I think it's good that we keep that up, so I'm certainly not removing it.
It's one of those things where, because of the fact that he went and did this, everyone's questioning his motives, and the United States government is on the hot seat because it's like, hey, this guy represents you, and the U.S. is like, well, no, he doesn't. Yeah, he kind of does. Are you gonna do something with this, or what's going on? And that also puts Superman in the center of people's attention because of that, too.
So, getting back to the thing you were originally saying, the first moment that really hit was where Superman and Lois are having a heart-to-heart, while the Justice Gang is in the background battling a, quote, dimensional imp, which is not how I thought that Mr. Mxyzptlk would show up in these movies, but I'll take it.
Yeah, so what was that? Because I saw you getting extremely excited about that, and I had no idea what was going on, well, as is tradition.
Dimensional imp implies fifth dimensional imp, which implies Mr. Mxyzptlk, but it could theoretically not be him. It does seem kind of like a low-powered version of him if the Justice Gang was able to deal with them, and it seems very out of character for him to not insist that Superman duke it out with him. However, an interesting bit is... God, I've already gone off the topic we were trying to get back to. Mr. Mxyzptlk, every single incarnation of him is the same person.
Really?
Yeah, he exists outside of every dimension that we have seen. So every different version of him is just the same guy or an extension of him popping into that universe and trying something different out. Like the My Adventures with Superman, same as the one from the comics, same as the Gilbert Gottfried one from Superman the Animated Series, same as the thoroughly evil one from Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, all the same Mr. Mxyzptlk. So, right. I can foresee a situation in which he decided, I want to be in this movie, but I also don't want to pull too much focus. So, let me just let the audience know I'm here. Anyways, getting back to the thing.
For real this time.
There's now a warrant out for Superman's arrest because of what Lex has dug up, and coupled with, stopping the invasion of Jarhanpur, totally not Palestine. Clark decides he's going to turn himself in. Not specifically because he thinks he's done anything wrong, but because he figures that that's the best way to figure out where Krypto has been taken.
Yeah.
Lois is like, you're gonna do that just for a dog. Yeah. He's not even a very good dog.
Yeah, he immediately just goes like, yeah, and he's not a good dog, but,
He's alone, and probably scared, and then I started tearing up a little bit, like, oh no, the poor little horrible gremlin!
I wasn't tearing up, but I was definitely getting pretty emotional. I'm like, how the fuck are you gonna make me feel bad over this objectively piece of shit dog?
He's a pretty bad dog.
He's a very bad dog.
Hey, look, he does some things correct. He did bring Superman back to the fortress to get healed. He didn't hurt that baby.
After jumping on him with his broken ribs several times.
He was excited to see him.
He's like, I'm so excited, I'm gonna kill ya.
And also, not to get too far, I'm gonna jump ahead. It turns out that in this continuity, he's actually Supergirl's dog, and she apparently has no problem with him being violent, which
explains a lot.
It also helps sell the idea that the second half of the L's message was true, because one of the things about Supergirl is that she actually lived, if not on Krypton itself, then on a Krypton colony, and therefore she actually remembers their society and her family, but due to time shenanigans, I think her space pod ended up in like a time rift or a space warp or something, so she got to Earth well after Superman, even though she was sent out at the same time to keep an eye on him.
Okay.
So she's in the position of, she actively remembers what she has lost here. And from the sound of it, that society wasn't great, but it's also home.
That kind of context does, I think, at least open the door to explain a lot of her behaviors.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I'm really excited to see what Supergirl does with it, the movie. But, no, just making us feel bad for this dog. Okay. Lex's horrible list of crimes. So...
Almost, no, not gonna make that joke.
I'm gonna make a joke. Trust me, it's coming. Let's see. He's behind the Hammer of Baravia, the guy who beats up Superman at the start of the movie, who is actually a disguised Ultraman, who is himself a clone of Superman, but less intelligent, we're not sure to what extent, basically controlled by Lex, who's giving him maneuvers that his support squad input via camera monitors that he uses to then beat the shit out of Superman.
Basically turns him into a Street Fighter character.
Yeah. He then busts into the Fortress of Solitude, roughs up the place, kidnaps Krypto, to bait Superman into getting super mad, and also to find something to destroy him with, and then he finds that footage. And then when Superman turns himself in, they end up imprisoning him in a pocket universe indefinitely. Oh, hey, look! Extrajudicial deportation of citizens without trials. Ha! This is not a political movie, though. This is not a political movie. No, sir. What would make you think that, I wonder? There isn't a government-manipulating billionaire tech bro manipulating social media with an army of mind-controlled social media outrage monkeys, which is one of the greatest fucking things I've ever seen in any superhero movie ever!
No, that is literally... I have never seen such a perfect description of social media in general in any piece, or modern social media specifically.
I hate that you have to say modern.
It is unfortunately a qualifier.
Oh, God.
Yeah. No, social media has been a thing for at least 20 years. It's just only within the last, 8 years, if you want to be light about it, that it's been as bad as it has. And this movie has one of the best depictions of modern social media I have ever seen in anything I have ever witnessed. No game, no movie, or anything else I've ever seen has a good description. The only thing that's come close, and this is a very, very off-the-wall pick on my end, is that they make a joke about Reddit being a cesspool and introducing it to our surrogate grandfather in Need for Speed Unbound of all things. And it's one of those things where it's hard to kind of quantify without showing the bit, but it is genuinely hilarious when it happens. But yeah, no, because it is a whole thing of earlier, there's a whole bit, what starts the fight between Lois and Clark in the beginning of the movie is Lois having a interview of sorts with Clark as Superman and talking in particular about the social media aspect and how people are reacting to him on the internet, which is definitely a thing of tying in the whole thing of, hey, yeah, news and media and stuff like that, it's not through print or through TV anymore. A lot of it is through socials, even if it's, once again, the need to fabricate to complain about something. And in particular, she brings up, people aren't crazy about you, hashtag this, hashtag that.
Hashtag super shit. You know that one specifically irritates me.
Yeah, and it's no, Clark, this is not how this is supposed to go. And then we see one of the monkeys just spamming hashtag super shit.
That's so good.
And by the way, this man is not using monkeys as an insult. These are literal monkeys.
Yeah, they're literal mind-controlled monkeys. Which, of course they are. Also, I really like that interview because it brings up... Lois actually brings up some good points, even though Superman is ultimately right that saving people is the right thing to do. She does bring up some points about how he carries himself, in the sense of, specifically, he's been doing a few interviews with Superman as Clark Kent, and since she's in on the secret, she points out that's actually a pretty big ethical problem, and that's why he agrees to let her interview him, and even then, he's clearly not taking it all that seriously. He expects it's going to be a fluff piece kind of thing, and instead she actually comes at him with some questions, and he has to come down off his high horse a little bit, ultimately.
I did like that. I feel like the whole thing of her showing, I mean, objectively speaking, yes, this whole thing of him interviewing himself is a monumental ethical conflict of interest. But I distinctly remember one of the cartoon shows, Clark is having dinner with Lois, and at this dinner, he finally reveals to her that he is Superman. Lois initially is like, no, there's no way. And then he just stares at her, and she realizes and goes, oh my god, no, you can't be. This is... Do you know how big of a conflict of interest this is? You had interviews with yourself. And I took that as a callback to that particular comic when she gets at him for that.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. But yeah, we were talking about Lex Luthor's crimes, of
right.
which there are many.
Yeah. No, so under the pretense of interrogating Superman and having the president of Bravia there as a witness, quote unquote, they're both in league with each other because Luthor... Oh my god! The fact that part of Luthor's scheme, even if it's ultimately just a front, is to get half of Jarhanpur once Bravia is done invading it, aka Lex's entire scheme hinges on a real estate swindling scandal. Just like in Superman 1978.
Which is so fucking pathetic.
That's amazing.
It's great, but it's so fucking pathetic.
And it is saved by the fact that when Superman's taunting him about how the Bravia plan isn't gonna work, Lex goes, do you think I really care? I didn't start this whole conflict with you as an excuse to manipulate this conflict between Jarhanpur and Bravia. I started the Jarhanpur-Bravia conflict so I'd have an excuse to kill you, which is perfect. Yeah. No notes. Absolutely great. Talking about other Superman adaptations, there's a great bit in Justice League Unlimited where the Question is trying to kill Lex Luthor because Lex Luthor is the most popular candidate for president, which, boy, howdy, if that happened in real life, we'd be getting off easy now.
Oh yeah. Oh, sweet Jesus.
The Question is afraid that if Lex becomes president, Superman is going to kill him and turn into the alternate counterpart, evil Justice Lord Superman, because all evidence is pointing that way. And so Question gets the idea, I'm going to kill Lex instead, because I'm already crazy. Nobody will be surprised when I do it, but the Justice League will survive. Lex proceeds to manhandle him, and in the process goes, do you know how much power I'd have to give up to become president? That's right, conspiracy buff. I spent $700 million on a fake presidential campaign just to tick Superman off. Which... the fact that we are doing this again, where Lex is willing to throw any amount of manipulation, any political acumen, any social boons, resources, time, all of it, everything, just to have a shot at Superman, is the most Lex Luthor thing, and I'm so goddamn pleased. And in the process of this, he proves what an utterly despicable human being he is, because he's holding a guy who Superman barely knows. They're friendly with each other, but his main claim to fame is that he gave Superman free falafel after watching him save a woman. And he's playing Russian roulette with the guy. He's holding a gun up to his head, interrogating Superman, and after 2 bullets, two clicks, shoots the guy in the head dead. And it's just...
Yeah.
It's awful. Because...
Oh, it's so bad.
Superman is being poisoned by kryptonite, which Metamorpho is creating, so he can't do anything. He's literally powerless to break out of the cell. And he's begging Luthor, don't do this, I barely know this guy, I can't tell you this. And what's even worse to me is the fact that the guy isn't begging Superman for help. The guy is encouraging Superman, don't say anything, I don't have any family. Nobody's gonna miss me. And it's... Oh god, when I think about that, that's just...
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
No, it's horrible. And it really is just a thing of fully emphasizing that, once again, Lex is doing this specifically to torture Superman because he hates him. And also furthering Lex's thing of, he hates him to the degree where, because the thing that Lex is trying to do more than anything else is find out who has ever interacted with Superman, help Superman, support Superman, because to him, anyone who even slightly leans towards being friendly with Superman and supporting him might as well be his mortal enemy, and he will stop at nothing to destroy them simply for the fact that they exist. That's it.
Which is a little bit funny just for the mood whiplash, is once Lex shoots Mally dead, he goes, "Oh, I'm surprised that went so quick. I thought that would have taken longer. Well, I'll be back tomorrow with somebody else you've chatted with a little bit, and I'll kill them too." And it's just so
unhinged.
He's so slimy about it, and I like that at the end of the movie, when the Daily Planet publishes another article, the front page is calling Mally the real hero of the day, partly because it's Lex murdering him in cold blood that inspires Metamorpho to help Superman, because of the fact that Metamorpho, who is not a bad guy, he's only helping Lex because Lex has his son hostage in the cell across from them. He points out, he just killed that man, and I did nothing. And you can tell he's destroyed by it.
Yeah.
And you can't really blame him because his poor baby son is being held hostage, but what that must be doing to him is terrible.
Oh yeah, the mental strain must be immense.
And I'm real glad he gets a spot with the Justice Gang at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because he deserves it after what he went through there. No, also, Lex doesn't just use that prison for Superman, he also outsources it to other countries who want to hide their political dissidents indefinitely, and also uses it for people who have personally slighted him, like ex-girlfriends who wrote petty, mean blogs about him.
Which is just full-on Elon Musk at that point, by the way.
Yeah, but no politics here! Nothing, nope.
Yeah.
Nope,
Okay, I meant to say this earlier, but in all seriousness, speaking to the general audience, if you go into anything comics book related, and you see heavy-handed political stuff that you're not crazy about, this is not the hobby for you. Historically speaking, comic book writers and artists have never shied away from making their thoughts known on that, especially things that go against art and creativity. Because there are artists who make their money off creativity. We're just kind of like joking about it, but it is a thing. No, in all seriousness, this is not new, nor is it going away.
It's not that these things didn't used to be political, it's that you either weren't thinking about it, or you inherently agreed with the politics being depicted, and therefore you didn't think of it as politics.
See, as an example, I forget his name, but the guy who originally wrote Punisher, who gets mad at all the crazy everybody who has the Punisher logo on like their trucks or guns and shit, and goes, "No, Frank Castle would hate you for who you are." That is objectively not how Frank Castle works, guys.
Yeah, let's not beat around the bush. It's the right-wing fanaticist gun nuts using the Punisher symbol that made him mad. And cops. Can't forget cops.
Can't forget cops, yeah. Within the realm of anything comics book related, this is nothing new.
Yeah. Thinking of the Justice Gang, if I had to rank them, it would be Mr. Terrific up top, best one.
Oh, 100%. Mr. Terrific's phenomenal.
I don't need your help. I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific.
You have this spaceship, but you couldn't get a faster door?
I haven't worked on that yet. He's just
so full of himself.
Because he knows he's the smartest guy in the room at all times, and you can just feel the frustration of always feeling like he has to dumb things down for people.
Yeah.
But also, Lex Luthor is, I think, probably close to a match for him, so that's a fun parallel.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So it's Mr. Terrific up top, he's the best. Then Guy, then Metamorpho, and then Hawkgirl doesn't get as much to do, but she does get a couple of really good moments, one of which is prompted by Mr. Terrific, and that's you inject nanites into your friend's bloodstreams? Yeah, I do that to everybody. And then she just looks down at herself like, what?
I know the two of us were like, wait, what? I'm pretty sure everyone in our theater just like stopped for a moment. It was just like, what the fuck, dude? That's objectively fucked up.
And then she also gets a great moment where she barges into the president of Arabia's palace, abducts him, flies him out a window over the city, and he's busy taunting her going, "You're not gonna do anything to me, you're soft like Superman." And she goes, "Oh, I'm not Superman." And then she drops him to his fucking death, which, yeah, cool, good.
Oh yeah, That was pretty hardcore, honestly.
As refreshing as it is to see Superman value the sanctity of life in this movie, which is really good, he goes out of his way to save everybody he possibly can, up to and including...
He rescues a fucking squirrel.
He rescues a squirrel. And when that giant kaiju's
Yeah.
rampaging around, he's trying to advocate for dealing with it non-lethally so they can take it somewhere to be studied, or maybe even an intergalactic zoo where it can at least live in peace. And everybody else is poo-pooing him for it. But I'm with them on that. But also, sometimes... As I said in a review for another movie, you can't always depend on the abusive, monstrous assholes of the world taking themselves out. Sometimes you gotta do it yourself. And that's what Hawkgirl does.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Drop. Anyways, God, I feel like there's still a lot in this that I'm probably missing. Guy Gardner's a riot, because he's just a fucking asshole.
I was gonna say, I was up to, like, rapid fire some stuff, so to that extent, Guy Gardner is great, because his head is shoved so far up his own asshole.
Yeah, he's just abrasive as all get out. He's insisting on calling it the Justice Gang. He's insisted that, like, basically only he gets a vote, or if one other person gets a vote, he's got tiebreaker authority.
Yeah.
He's constantly spilling Superman's secrets, because one of the things they let Lois do in this movie, so she has something to do, and it works out really well, is she's the one who goes to the Justice Gang asking for help freeing Superman from this pocket universe prison. And Green Lantern doesn't realize that she knows who he is, so he's like, so do you know about the hypno glasses? Because I guess in this movie, they went with the explanation that Clark Kent's glasses make him look different when he's wearing them. They project some kind of psychic image into people's brains. And she goes, yes, I know about the hypno glasses, but you should not be saying that in case I didn't actually know who he was. And he just leans forward, so you know he's Clark Kent. Why does he tell everybody?
Yeah. Yeah, Guy Gardner is not who you want to keep your state secrets.
Nah. I understand why Clark did it, but boy howdy. Oh, you know what? The other bit that really made me cry. There's another moment after it, but it was kind of a 1-2 punch. But the main one is, Clark gets kryptonite poisoning, so they bring him back to the Kent's farm so he can recover. And just the way that Jonathan and Martha just clearly care so much about their son and are just fawning over him to make sure he's okay. And Jonathan is clearly very worried, and Martha goes, don't worry about him, Lois, he's just a big mush, especially when it comes to Clark. And it's just, aww. But then...
So, that's something I personally appreciate a lot. This is kind of an off-the-wall thing. It might be a little bit of me being on a high horse, but I do appreciate... It feels like it doesn't happen a lot in general, but having a father figure, who is clearly a father figure, man of the house and all that, being very clearly emotional over the well-being of someone they love, in particular their adult son. It's one of those things, like, he genuinely breaks into tears going into how he wasn't sure what was going on with Clark or anything like that, and he was worried sick about him. And it's one of those things where it's like, it probably sounds stupid, but it was genuinely really refreshing to see that.
No, yeah, especially, one thing that I like about the Kents here is that they don't talk like they're in a superhero movie. They don't talk like anybody else in this movie, and I don't just mean in terms of accent. I mean, their cadence, their way of speaking is much more genuine human being, because it's not perfect. It's a little disjointed, it's a little stilted because A, they're older, and B, you can tell they're trying to think things through as they say it. It's not like, yes, I've had this prepared speech about destiny and choice on deck for 15 years now, and now it's time to let loose. Because Clark is still very upset about that message, because all his life he thought he was sent here to do good, and he's tried to live by that, and now, as far as he can tell, it's a lie. And Jonathan starts with, I think what you took away from that message says more about you than the message itself. Because basically he's commending the fact that Clark took that ambiguous message and took it as, I need to help people, I need to be the best person I can, and help as many people as I can with what I can do. And Clark is still hung up on, but they wanted me to conquer the world and kill people. I mean, that's terrible. And then Jonathan just goes, I don't remember the whole speech, but it was something to the effect of, a parent's job isn't to make kids into what they want to be, is to give you the tools to make fools of yourselves and grow up into who you're meant to be. and I'm damn proud of who you are. He probably didn't say damn, but
No, but
it
that
was
was
more
the
like I
general
couldn't be
thing.
more proud.
Yeah,
And it's
because
just
it is a thing of this. Oh, sorry.
no, I'm tearing up again. You go ahead.
Yeah, it is a whole thing of, again, a big theme of this movie in general is human nature, what it means to be a human being, to interact with the people around you, and to care for the ones you care about. And one of the things with that they very much hammer in, especially with after Superman finds out about the full message that his parents left him, is the whole thing of, you're not who your parents make you out to be. You still have agency over your thought process, how you carry yourself, how you interact with the world around you. And again, kind of going with what Superman said took the first half of his parents' message to be, because he had no context for the rest of it. He took that little bit and was just like, I need to help people. That's what I'm here to do. And even being strung up on that, when people find out who he is, he still ultimately has that desire to do good, and there are people who still root for him to do good.
Yeah.
Because even though, talking about modern depiction of modern social media, even though as soon as this whole bit of the rest of his parents' message shows up and a whole bunch of people instantly turn on him, which is frustratingly accurate, by the way.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, that doesn't completely erase everything that he had done up until that point. Like, it's even brought up at certain points where it's just like, yeah, but he's done a lot of good shit. And that doesn't go away just because of the shit that his parents left him, even though Lex Luthor tries his best to destroy that image in people's brain.
Yeah. I can't believe we've gone through this whole thing and we haven't even touched on sex god Jimmy Olsen.
So that was going to be part of the rapid fire bit that I was trying to start earlier. It's like rapid fire. The Kents are amazing. Rapid fire. Jimmy is fucking great. And honestly, I feel sorry for a brother with having to be with Eve and deal with Eve, but holy shit. The dynamic between the two is great. Even Lois, when she sees the picture of Eve, it's like, Jimmy, how? And he's like, I don't know.
There's even two random girls in the Daily Planet office who are looking over at him and giggling when he just nods at them. And it's great.
That was a bit that confused her. Just like, wait, what's going on here? They're just gossiping, and it's just Jimmy. Now, Jimmy Olsen in this movie is not an ugly looking guy. Far from it. No. But it is a thing of like, this is a very unassuming dude. The bit where Lois does go like, Jimmy, how did you land this? It feels like it's a mixture of like teasing me like, you're pretty unassuming, but also being like, okay, no, but really. And also his whole thing with trying to get more intel about Lex from Eve and all the hoops he goes through for that, while also having one of the best celebration dances I think I've seen in a long time.
That was great. I can't describe it.
That was really good.
But it was very enthusiastic and very energetic.
So it's like, so what do I get out of it? What do you want? I want to see you this weekend. Okay, for how long? The whole weekend? The whole weekend?
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
And I'm pretty sure, I'd have to rewatch the movie, but I'm pretty sure there are a couple people who are still at the Daily Planet working, and you just see them peek over their cubicles when he does that.
Yeah, it's great.
I love this Jimmy.
Yeah. I also like that Eve is she's clearly very ditzy, but she's also not as stupid as everybody assumes she is, because when she sends all the intel she has to Jimmy, it looks like she just sent a bunch of selfies, but in the background of those selfies are all of Lex's illegal activities, and even Lex doesn't figure it out.
Just love the bit where she goes, Eve, you're a genius. And I think everyone is just confused at that statement.
Your hot ex is a genius.
Yeah. Your hot, moderately dipshit ex is a genius.
And now I think I think we can get to the best part of the movie, aka the part where I almost passed out laughing, because Lex's plan...
You know what? When you said pass out laughing, I honestly thought it was the social media monkeys bit.
No, the part where I almost passed out is Lex's scheme has been thwarted. The all that's left is to close the rift because Ultraman has been dealt with. The engineer has been knocked out. The war in Barabia has been stopped because the Justice Gang decided to intervene on Superman's behalf. which was another the scene with the kid lifting the flagpole chanting Superman, and then everybody else in the crowd starts chanting Superman. That also got me a little bit, but partly because I was still emotionally vulnerable from the Pa Kent scene. But
before that, actually, because you just reminded me of it, we get one of the best fucking shots ever.
Oh, Guy Gardner with the middle finger Green Lanterns?
Well, no, that's the second best shot
Okay.
ever. No, one of the best shots ever, genuinely, is Superman in Metropolis trying to save the people of Metropolis because, oh, by the way, Lex Luthor has opened a interdimensional warp in space and time that is actively destroying Metropolis. So Superman is in the city, like, stopping buildings from landing on people and all that. He stops a building from landing on a woman's car. The woman gets away just in time before the building crumbles behind her. And in the rubble and all the dust, you just see the silhouette of Superman just rise from it. That's fucking good.
That is probably up there with Lupita Nyong'o eating a slice of pizza.
Yeah. That's the kind of scene where you light a cigarette right after. That's fucking great.
So he and Mr. Terrific go to confront Lex. There's a big exchange of speeches. Superman rebuffs Lex's whole thing about him being an alien who doesn't belong on Earth with, I'm as human as anybody. I love, I laugh, I get scared, I mess up all the time, but I try every single day to do the best that I can, and that's what makes me human, and that's my greatest strength, and for the sake of the world, Lex, I hope someday you realize the same thing. And Lex is going on a counter tirade, and then who should bust in but fucking Crypto,
who just fucking pummels him.
He's got Lex by the arm and he's ragdolling him around because he knows Lex is the one who kidnapped him. And Superman is trying to call him off, but because Crypto's a little shit, he's not listening. And watching... God, that's the funny thing. That's the thing. That's... If nothing else, that's why you have Crypto in the movie, because Superman is too good of a person to beat the shit out of Lex Luthor, ultimately, no matter what Lex has coming, because Superman knows that he could very well kill him, and also, he doesn't get any satisfaction out of it. But watching Crypto do it? Watching the world's smartest man be reduced to Superdog's chew toy is just... Mwah! I almost passed out. I was lightheaded after that. Because it goes on just long enough.
I feel like that bit, I mean, is at least a little bit of a homage to the first Avengers where Loki is insulting Hulk and Hulk just picks him up by his legs and just starts slamming him against the wall and the floor in Tony Stark's office.
A great scene.
At the end, Loki's just like, and Hulk is just like, puny god.
Anyways, the most unrealistic part of this movie is that the politically manipulative billionaire tech bro actually has to face consequences for his actions because Lex gets exposed as a traitor and arrested and sent to Belle Reve. Which, if there's one line that made me laugh, but I thought, no, we get one scene with Max Lord, and it's him being not quite interviewed. They got a comment from him while he was getting into a car, and he goes, looks like we found the one thing conservatives and liberals can agree on. Lex Luthor sucks! And I just thought, no, conservatives would look at him and go, he didn't do anything wrong! Superman's not human, guys!
100%.
He's different from us. He's not human. It's you know, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Anyways, fuck Lex Luthor, and anybody who he's a direct parallel of, frankly.
Right.
I won't say who it is, why spoil the surprise? No, this is a good movie. If anything, this movie made me a little sad at the fact that, oh yeah, there is no Superman who's actually gonna fix all this. Guess you just gotta do what you can. I don't know what form that takes, but...
Oh man, I can be such a jerk sometimes.
The post-credit scenes are also good. They don't set anything up. All the setup things are in the movie itself, particularly the Supergirl scene where she comes to get Crypto back. But
yeah,
the post-credits are just Crypto and Superman on the moon, cuddling it out. It's very cute. Also, the bit where when Clark first wakes up after resting from kryptonite poisoning and Crypto's just laying on his chest, just staring at him. It's just, aww.
Right.
But then the other scene is apparently Mr. Terrific helped put Metropolis back together, and they're both staring at a building that wasn't put together evenly, so one side is jutting out compared to the other, and Superman's just looking at it, and he goes, and Mr. Terrific just says, what? Come on, what do you want me to do? Take it apart and put it back together again? No, I mean, it's fine, it's just a little uneven is all, it's just, look, man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you out with it, and Mr. Terrific is stomping away, clearly mad, and Superman just goes, dang it, I can be such a jerk sometimes. The little folksy
like,
bits...
Fucking Boy Scout.
Yeah, right, the fact that he says stuff like when Krypto tears up the Fortress of Solitude, he's just, what the hey, dude? He tries to say that he's punk rock because he listened to the Mighty Crab Joys. Oh. This is a great movie.
God, he even has their poster.
He has their poster.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't wait. I have to figure out the exact date this comes in on Blu-ray so I can put it on my shelf, because this is really good, and I cannot recommend it enough. Even for the uneven bits, even for all the little... There's some clunky exposition in here, a lot of characters talking, we need to establish this so the audience knows it cadence. Even for... Clark Kent doesn't get as much play in this as I would like as a separate entity. I feel like a lot of his Clark bleeds over into Superman, but I think that was necessary for this movie, so I'm not too put out by it. So, all in all, it's just...
Right.
Yeah, I love this. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else?
No, I think we've covered it all. This is really funny, considering it's like, oh, this might be a shorter episode. We have unironically spent, like, probably an hour, 20 minutes talking about this movie.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, but just goes to show, I guess.
Yeah,
anyways,
indeed.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You know what to do. You know when to do it. Hopefully you already did. Next week, I guess there's Eddington, which we're probably both going to want to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I might also try to see I Know What You Did Last Summer, because I have a weakness for slashers, alright? Don't judge me.
You gotta know what they did last summer.
Yeah, but regardless of what they did last summer, this has been Under the Bridge with Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And with Greg, aka Greg.
And we'll catch you all next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye!